So WandaVision wrapped up this last week.
And were you satisfied with the ending?
It was a little underwhelming.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I heard people complaining about it and Kevin Smith crying about it.
Kevin Smith?
Yeah. Not Kevin Smith. Who's that one Jay and Silent Bob guy? What's his name?
Yeah, that's Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith? Yeah, he was like teary-eyed. He did a picture. It was
he cries over everything, though.
Yeah, I like to say it was just kind of underwhelming then.
I thought so. Overall the show is quite good, but yeah, I thought the ending was kind of...
Did it end the way you thought it would?
Yeah, for the most part.
I won't say anything, obviously, but I kind of have an idea of how it would end. I don't know. I don't know if that actually is how it ended.
Oh, you know nothing about the show, so go ahead, give me your theory.
She created this world to cope with the loss of Vision. Like this fake reality. And she just, stops doing it at the end. Even though she had the option of not...
she just, stops.
Yeah, she stopped doing it. It's like, I guess even if I'm going to be with the guy that I love in a fictional reality, if it's going to hurt other people as well, maybe I should just not do it. And that's what she did. And she's just like, okay, that sucked.
Why do you come into the recording so much lower than me? I don't understand. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, right on.
That's
right on it.
It's...
I'm right on it.
To use the meme from the show, that's an oversimplification, but sure.
Well, all those things. This is an oversimplification from a guy who hasn't seen the show. So
exactly, yeah.
So, yeah. But like, if you had a flowchart, is that what it would be? Well, I guess you can't confirm it. I guess you can't confirm it.
I could, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. No, I thought overall the show was pretty good. Some some episodes in some places I thought it was really, really good. And then just occasionally just kind of this is fine. The last episode gave me some CW vibes, which was kind of disappointing.
In terms of like the quality of what you're seeing on screen?
Like CW at its best.
Okay, I see
yeah.
what you
So
mean.
like still good, but like okay, this is just fine. This is
Yeah.
popcorn. Like I'm just kind of enjoying it.
The whole show seemed it was of movie quality in terms of how things looked from a short like.
I'll say for the most part it was.
It's just that ending part was like, okay, we are doing more action-packed scenes, and we can only do so many good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But acting good. I'm interested to see directions it'll take in the broader MCU stuff. Yada 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 yada.
It's only a one-season thing, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. It seems. I don't know how they could just like do 2 seasons of something.
I don't see why they. I don't see how or why they would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they will, but I don't know if I'd be interested. I'd be interested in a new show with Wanda.
Yeah, well, they probably would do that, or do her in the next movie or whatever, but yeah, probably not the same concept.
And she's already confirmed for Doctor Strange 2, and most fans are assuming that she's also going to be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
We will find out.
We will find out.
Connor. Just like we're going to find out about all this fresh, hot news.
I was waiting. I was like, how's he going to transition?
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hi to the people, Connor.
Hi, guys.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hear you asking, what is this show? Why is it called this? And what does it have to do with gaming? Well, let me tell you, me and Connor here come to you every week, Mondays, 8 a.m., your favorite podcasting apps, your Googles, your Apples, your Spotifys. We're there. SoundCloud, we're there. YouTube, we're there. Monday, 8 a.m., every week. 8 a.m. Central Time, that is. Yeah. And we come to you with 2 topics each, 2 pennies, if you will, and give you our 2 cents on them. All about the new news that you need to know in the gaming industry. And this week, Connor, I think we've got some interesting little things. But,
yeah,
as a quick side note, quick housekeeping. Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/2pennygames. Me and my good buddy Phil do a little show we like to call Hype. Have you ever played? Where one of us shows the other one a game that we love and the other one hasn't played. This week, Connor, we are finishing up Metal Gear Solid 2, The Sons of Liberty.
Did you start it already?
We started it last week.
Ah, okay. I thought you were doing it, finishing up Kingdom Hearts last week.
No, that was the week before. That was why,
okay.
Connor, if you were paying attention to the YouTube feed, you saw a little breakout video Tuesday, 8 a.m. of After the Hype.
Yeah, I did see
in
that.
which me and Phil sat down and I gave my conclusive review over Kingdom Hearts 1. And let me tell you what, I had some things to say. So you can go check that out at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or just listen to the last 50 minutes of last week's episode.
Yeah, 54 minutes of just great praise. I'm assuming.
So good, dude. Oh man, but you have to go watch those videos and listen to that episode to find out about all that great praise I gave that game. But this week, Connor, we got some other news that we got to talk about. And I think we should start with something that we touched on last week, and that's EA. They're doing a couple of things. Connor. Last week, we talked about how they're letting BioWare make the single-player RPGs that they want to make. And this week, they made a full-on comment about it. So, I'm pulling an article from Game Informer by Liana Rupert. EA pledges total freedom for studios with game development, including Dragon Age, Titanfall, and more. In recent years, EA has had the difficulty connecting with gamers, with so many studios under its umbrella that has caused a lot of concern for major franchises. With the recent report that EA is abandoning the live service model for BioWare's anticipated Dragon Age entry, a series known for its single-player adventures, and following the cancellation of Anthem, EA's own Laura Mealy has confirmed that the publisher is making a drastic pivot for the foreseeable future. Mealy is currently the Chief Studios Officer for EA, and she recently sat down with IGN's Rebecca Valentine to talk more about her work and the future of the company. Within her role, Mealy oversees over 6,000 gaming developers from all kinds of backgrounds, working on all sorts of projects. Through her work, she tells the site that she's developed an incredibly intricate understanding of the complexities and sophistication of game development, and that insight has furthered her love for the craft immensely. Mealy opened up a little bit about what it is like to empower the studios under the EA name to craft the stories they want to tell. Quote, "In terms of our game development philosophy, our players are always our North Star," Mealy mentioned. As I started this current role, I wanted to strip away some of the preconceived notions about what games we should be investing in and really start listening to players and incorporating their voice into our development process. Since then, we have announced a slate of games that players asked for: a new Skate, college football, a Command & Conquer remaster, the Mass Effect trilogy, and we developed free content in Battlefront 2 for several years to turn the perception of that game completely around. She also talked a little bit about how the goal is to have players involved in the conversation during development, which was a big push behind the reason to release the source code for Command & Conquer. That being said, being able to keep players involved and to turn around gamer asks isn't as easy as snapping one's fingers. When talking about this, Mealy brought up franchises like FIFA and Madden. The sports series under the EA name have come under fire more often than not in the past, mostly regarding the more predatory practices of microtransactions adapting a pay-to-win model. Mealy told IGN that this type of feedback is being taken in, but making changes to games like this on a larger scale takes work, and sometimes those changes can take years to be set in motion. Quote, "We have recently added advanced innovation teams that are heavily focused on tech development and dedicated to long-term gaming development," Mealy added when talking about EA sports games. "These teams explore innovation initiatives that players will get to experience in 2 to 3 years. With that in mind, taking in player feedback does not translate to making every single gamer out there happy. Every individual player has different wants, different expectations, and EA is still a business that must appeal to shareholders and investors. That being said, she did add that the publisher is going through a lot of changes presently, with the first major course of action being Anthem Next's cancellation. While BioWare detailed why it would no longer continue in a previous statement that we covered last week, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, Mealy added that it basically comes down to one question: does EA continue investing in this, something that a major portion of the community has already deemed a failure, or does the company take those resources and apply them to other franchises like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and even Titanfall for a brighter future? We know which way the company leaned now, which does bode well for those that were concerned about the future of galaxies and demon-infested Thades. For those interested in wall jumping and chaos, especially with the success of Apex Legends, a part of the pivot does coincide for a drive to continue Titanfall. While Respawn is hard at work on maintaining Apex Legends and making it even better with new seasons, Mealy did add that EA has backed off and has given the studio complete control over what it does with that franchise. So if players want it and Respawn hears that, then a new Titanfall is possible. Connor.
So, last week we did cover the fact that Anthem is dead. It's not going to be continued on anymore. And they changed Dragon Age from a planned service game to a single-player game. It kind of shows that EA has realized that they need to start letting the developers take the initiative on what they want to do. Because usually they're going to be the ones that are going to have the better ideas. And, some of the decisions that they've canceled, like the Dragon Age one, obviously would have blown back in their face when it was released. So it's a good thing that they're finally moving into a direction where more power is given to the developers directly rather than the publishers. I don't know if they'll actually do this, because EA's had a lot of problems with constantly, making it seem like they're for the players and for the developers, but then not actually being that.
Well, let's take into consideration what the example she brings up about how they're quote unquote listening to the players now. A new Skate announced, a college football game, a Command & Conquer remaster, the Mass Effect Trilogy remaster, and all the free Battlefront 2 content that was released over the last 2 years or whatever. Okay, those are really good points.
Yeah.
But in that same time frame, Anthem released and flopped. Battlefront 2 released and we don't have to talk about that. And FIFA and Madden continue to just be money grubbing and cheap cash cows that they just use and abuse their player base with. So, though you can point to these other things and say, okay, hey, look, we are trying, we are listening. And I believe them. I think they are trying and they are listening. They've just got a big ship, and it takes a while for big ships to turn.
Yeah. They've done, like as they were saying in the article, they've done good things recently, but there is goodwill that needs to be made up with exchange with all the bad stuff they've done in the past.
Yep.
So, that the fact that they did that in the they messed up in the past, disappointing gamers and their developers, means that there's, you still got to take it with a grain of salt until they really can show you that the direction they're going in is the one they're going to keep.
Mm-hmm. So, I agree. So it's nice to hear. Let's see if it actually happens. I don't think even for a second we're going to see any drastic changes in their sports games.
No.
Because FIFA specifically makes them billions of dollars the way it is, so why change it? Mm-hmm. And it's more of things like their star players, their star developer teams, BioWare, Respawn, have had some ups and downs.
Yeah. Especially BioWare. They haven't been able to...
It's been a minute.
Andromeda made money, though, didn't it? I want to say it did.
It was the worst first week sales since the first Mass Effect.
Okay. So
Mass Effect 2 and 3 did better than that. But I think that's a little bit to be expected.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I assumed it wasn't going to be as good selling as Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. Also going in... the thing about like all the technical issues and the weak animations, we knew that going in to purchasing. So it makes sense that like people who were like, I'm gonna wait, decided, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. I hope Mealy is being honest, and I believe she's being honest here.
I have no reason to think that she'd be saying these kinds of things without actually dedicating to it.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to be even worse. And really, any PR hope they have is going to start crumbling down.
To make these kind of statements, these are things that like, as a face of a company as large as EA, you have to like have already laid some groundwork for it so that you can point your finger and say, hey, see, these things worked, which is why she points her finger to the Mass Effect trilogy and the Command & Conquer and the Skate and all that. She points her finger to that. So they've been laying groundwork for probably about the last year and a half, 2 years now. And now it's a matter of delivering on that and committing to that.
Yes.
Now, if they commit to it and they don't see any, if they don't see the return that they're looking for, then we're going to be seeing, maybe a return to these old ways, or maybe something worse, or maybe they'll, pivot again and find something better. Who knows? That's all time to see.
One thing that interests me, I just have to point out, is that the article mentions that this comes from a sit-down with a journalist at IGN, Rebecca Valentine. I'm curious as to who set that up, because if she set that up, Millie, then obviously she's trying to say, okay, I want people to know that this is the direction we're going in, which would be a good sign. But if IGN themselves reached out to them just to say, hey, with recent news about Anthem and Dragon Age, what are you doing?
I don't see why EA would speak if they don't need to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is, I guess that's kind of the end result. Yeah. They just, what they're saying has to be true as of right now.
Now, Connor, as you know, I'm a fan of Respawn.
Yes.
I've loved every game they've put out since the first Titanfall. Titanfall 1 and 2 remain some of my favorite shooters of all time. I love Apex Legends a lot, as I've said several times on this show, and I enjoy Jedi Fallen Order quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously those first two Titanfall games didn't hit super hard. Apex Legends comes and goes in popularity, but when it's high, it's quite high. When it's low, it's not that low. And Jedi Fallen Order hit big. What do you think the chances are of seeing a return to Titanfall?
Well, you see, the biggest issue that I see with that is, I remember we had covered it on our show as well, how Respawn wasn't wanting their workers to just, work extremely long hours, making sure that Apex Legends stays good. So, if they wanted to make Titanfall 3...
Stays fresh.
Yeah, stays fresh. My issue with them making a Titanfall 3 is if they had to do that, it would mean either abandoning more Apex stuff in favor of making a Titanfall 3 or overworking themselves. Which, if their true goal is to try and keep that up, they may just want to say, well, what we have going for us is working.
You don't think they're... I see where you're going, and I agree with you. You don't think... Because they're clearly working with two different teams, or they clearly have two teams going on right now at Respawn. One working with Apex Legends, and one working... you assume to be a Jedi Fallen Order sequel.
Which you would think I never played the end of that game, but everyone seems to say there's going to be a second one coming out. So I would assume
they would be foolish if they would not make a second one of those games. And especially with EA's exclusive deal with Star Wars, ending soon, you would assume they would get a Jedi Fallen Order out probably in the next year or two.
You would think so.
You would think, COVID notwithstanding. So, what I'm driving at is, so let's assume the next game is the Jedi Fallen Order sequel. After that, what does that team work on? I would guess a Titanfall.
I would bet that as well, and it doesn't, once again, touching back on the article, they were talking about how, players Respawn would be receptive to players' demands in making a Titanfall 3. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're working on it right now, and they would be working on that Star Wars game.
Yeah, so it'll be a minute before we see anything from Titanfall.
Yeah, so I really think the most logical thing is, yes, they would be doing it after Star Wars. Now, if they possibly wanted to expand their team to make, have three different teams working on games, one with Apex, one with the Star Wars game, and one with the next Titanfall, that's a possibility, but I don't know if, they'd be able to get that many more workers. I
don't think EA would supply them with enough resources to expand that greatly. Even though I think Respawn is making a case for one of the greatest devs in gaming right now.
Mm-hmm. They are.
They're working their way there at least to if it were my guess, timeline wise, I mean these guys, they work 5, 10 years, 15 years, and they think about these executives and producers and stuff. They think about it that way. So you look back and you go, okay, what year is it right now? It's 2021 right now. Probably not going to see a Jedi Fallen Order this year.
No.
So maybe next year or 2023, the last year of that exclusivity deal. And then we have a Battlefront 2 somewhere before that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Respawn working on Jedi Fallen Order 2 until then, and then another 3 years for until the release of their next game. Let's assume that next game is Titanfall. So Titanfall 2 released, 2017? Is that right? Google that for me.
I can fact check that.
So you're looking at almost a decade in between releases, which I think would,
2016.
2016. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
been a while.
Nearly a decade. Between, main franchise installments. So it would make sense to be like, oh, Titanfall is back. Like, then you can start having those marketing beats of it's back, it's better than ever, it's next gen.
Yeah.
Even though we'll be well into next gen by that point.
Yeah.
So, it's all these different things that like, now we can do all these crazy things that you never saw before, that were never possible before. And now, have all those marketing
hype
beats.
It up, yeah.
So I think all of that makes sense, from that perspective. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of will they do it. Titanfall 1 didn't really hit that hard. So most would blame that on the Xbox One exclusivity deal. Mm-hmm. But it did well enough, and it garnered enough attention that the sequel it justified a sequel. And then EA put Titanfall 2 in between Battlefield 1 and whatever Call of Duty was happening that year. Mm-hmm. And Titanfall just lost because it doesn't have that type of weight behind it to be a Call of Duty or even a Battlefield killer. And Battlefield being EA's own studio, you're just shooting yourself in the foot there.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate that Titanfall just keeps getting that short end of the stick, but hopefully, maybe now we'll have a chance, especially with the Apex Legends popping off the way it has, which is still in the Titanfall universe, but,
Yeah, right.
It's like Titanfall asterisks.
Yeah.
Me, at least. Connor. Mm-hmm. That's about all I have to say on EA.
Same as well.
Reforming itself. So, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the day. Penny number 2. First one was yours.
Yes.
That was your penny. This one is mine. And we are going to talk all about a Hogwarts Legacy developer quitting Avalanche following a public backlash. Now, I'm pulling a article from GameIndustry.biz by Matthew Handeron. Hogwarts Legacy lead developer Troy Leavitt has quit Avalanche Software following a backlash over content of his personal YouTube channel. Speaking on Twitter, Leavitt announced his decision to leave Avalanche and said he has, quote, nothing but good things to say about the game, the dev team, and WB Games. Leavitt emphasized the decision as his own, adding that he, quote, felt absolutely secure in my position. I'm in excellent spirits and very pleased with my relationship with WB and Avalanche. However, Leavitt promised to clarify his reasons in a new video, which will be published on his YouTube channel in the near future. Leavitt's YouTube channel is at the root of this issue. As Kotaku pointed out, his videos contained many controversial opinions, including different defenses of public figures accused of sexual misconduct, and qualified support of the fundamentally misogynist Gamergate movement. These positions were compounded by Leavitt's proximity to Harry Potter IP, the creator of which, J.K. Rowling, has been widely criticized for her statements about the trans community. In a recent op-ed, Brendan Sinclair explored the link between Leavitt's views and those of Rowling's and the nature of cancel culture. Connor,
you can read it here.
Is this doom and gloom for Hogwarts Legacy?
I mean, Hogwarts has been kind of in a weird place. They delayed it. They had that reveal trailer a while back where people were like, well, what kind of game is it going to be? And they decided on it. What did they say? What type of game is it going to be? Because it was different
we've gained no
we haven't.
information.
I thought they had declared it was going to be like some kind of multiplayer.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of they're pretty scarce on details for a game that's been in the news a lot. So I'm not that I don't feel like I'm worried that it's not going to come out, but I'm just confused at like where it is right now. I would like to know, just out of curiosity.
I think it's clear from the trailer they gave us that it's still, somewhat earlier in development. I think they've got a general direction and they know what the game is. It's not like they're like still like testing things out, obviously like Dragon Age is.
Yeah, which is like things like that make me think, do you have a direction for it right now even?
I think they have a direction. I think they know what that game is going to be. It's just because it's set to release next year now. It's just COVID got in the way. Mm-hmm. The marketing beats aren't there yet. They don't have to worry about a long drawn out marketing plan. It's Harry Potter. It's going to sell itself.
Yeah.
It's like how you can announce and release a Star Wars game in 8 months. With Jedi Fallen Order.
Right.
I think it was 8 months that happened.
I would like to think the Harry Potter IP can carry things, but I remember that even though it made money, the last Crimes of Grindelwald movie, the Harry Potter movie, didn't do all that well in terms
that
of
movie
sales.
sucks.
Yeah, but it's not a good movie. But in terms of sales, it made its money back, but not by as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, it's diminishing returns on that series.
Yes, diminishing returns. So I'm curious, is like, are people just kind of like, well, I don't really care about Harry Potter games right now, or are they actually interested in this? I'm skeptical of whether they'll actually be able to coast off that IP, or whether they're actually going to have to, have some sort of marketing ploy.
I'm willing to bet people are interested in Harry Potter as an IP.
Mm-hmm.
It's J.K. Rowling where things get tricky, and we also saw headlines this week of how trans characters will be in the Hogwarts Legacy games to kind of push back on that direct line between Rowling's comments and the material itself. Yeah, I don't really see this as too much of a bad thing. It doesn't seem like this guy was in the best state of mind, or how can I phrase that better? It seems like that guy, or leave it, seems to, side with people who may not be the best of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that's the reason for his, stepping down, okay, I'm not super mad at that. We can directly compare this step down though to what was happening with Halo Infinite at the beginning of the year. And I think this doesn't affect Hogwarts Legacy as much as Halo Infinite's director stepping down is affecting that game.
No, that guy seemed to have a way bigger, role.
Yeah,
he was more put up on a pedestal.
It seems clear that
he was integral to it.
Yeah, it seems clear that the Halo Infinite step down was more of like, okay, we need to pivot and change and we need to quote unquote get this back on track. Whereas this, it's more of like okay, we know where we're going. We don't really need you, bro, and you're causing issues. And he goes, all right, fine, fuck it, let me step down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the team will carry the torch from here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm still looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy, personally.
Yeah. I've never really been a big Hogwarts fan, so I could really, at this point, kind of care less.
Magic's cool, Connor. Magic's cool. I wish you liked Magic more.
I like Magic, just not Harry Potter Magic.
It's all the same.
Tavin, it is not the same.
Have
you ever heard of magic circles?
What the fuck are you talking about now?
Yeah, see, there you go. I thought you knew magic more than me, Tavin.
Why would I do that? Why would I claim that? I know Harry Potter more than you.
You do.
All right, moving on, Connor. Let's go ahead and jump into your second penny of the day. Ghost of Tsushima devs to be made permanent ambassadors of the real island. This is an article we're pulling from VideoGamesChronicle.com by Chris Scullion. The real Japanese island of Tsushima has given a prestigious award to two senior members of the Ghost of Tsushima development team. Game director Nate Fox and creative director Jason Connell will become permanent tourism ambassadors of the city of Tsushima in Nagasaki, the island announced this week. The ceremony will be held digitally due to travel restrictions, and the pair will be presented with the award and a letter of appreciation. To mark the occasion, the city said it will collaborate with Sony Interactive Entertainment to set up a new tourism campaign based on the game, which is designed to encourage fans to learn more about the island and its key landmarks. In a statement, Tsushima Mayor Hiroki Hitakatsu? Am I off on that? I don't know. Explained why the pair have been awarded with the honor. Quote, Fox and Connell spread the name of and history of Tsushima to the whole world in such a wonderful way, he said. Even a lot of Japanese people do not know the history of the Genko period. When it comes to the world, the name and location of Tsushima is literally unknown. So I cannot thank them enough for telling our story with such phenomenal graphics and profound stories. The mayor went on to explain that while the award has been given to notable Japanese people in the past, this is the first time that it has been awarded to someone, quote, who has spread the name and history of Tsushima through their works. Quote, the appointment of Tsushima ambassador is from today until Mr. Jason and Mr. Nate no longer wish to have it, he said. In fact, I had been thinking and discussing about appointing the role to them ever since I discovered they were using Tsushima's name as the name of their work. He added, I did not appoint them for the purpose of having them do anything in the future. Thanks to the two of them, Sucker Punch Productions and SIE, I have heard from people all over the world who have learned about Tsushima through their works and now want to see, know, and go to Tsushima. Once travel restrictions are lifted, Mayor Hitakatsu said he would like to invite Fox, Connell, and the entire Sucker Punch team to Tsushima and said that he hoped their visit would, quote, make them love Tsushima even more. I would really like to appoint all the Sucker Punch SIE and game users who were involved in the work as tourism ambassadors, he said. Tsushima has enjoyed newfound recognition following the release of Ghost of Tsushima last year. Ghost of Tsushima released in July 2020 and became an immediate success, selling more than 2.4 million copies globally in its first 3 days of sales. Wow, that's a lot of sales. Which we covered like episode 2 or 3 of this show, but it's just,
this game came out like right when we
forget.
started
2.4 in 3 days is a lot.
There's a lot of copies. Pandemic helped, probably.
In Japan, Ghost of Tsushima recorded the best launch week sales of any first-party PlayStation 4 game to date. In January, the popularity of the PlayStation game led to fans helping raise more than $260,000 to rebuild a shrine on the real island. Yuichi Hirayama, a priest at Tsushima's Watasumi Shrine, launched a crowdfunding page last November to help rebuild a torii gate that had collapsed during a typhoon. The crowdfunding effort concluded on Sunday with more than 540% of its 5 million JPY goal raised. Over 2,000 people contributed to the project, including many fans of Sucker Punch's PlayStation game. Quote, we have received a great deal of support from the This is just the end of this article is just running down like all the great things that Ghost of Tsushima has done. It's done a lot of great things for Tsushima in Japan and has seen a lot of support. I have been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
And it's a great game. It's a great game.
It's a great game. I need to finish it up too.
Yeah.
In the same way that you're finishing it up.
I'm working my way through it. I'll get there one day.
Yeah. It is just a really wholesome story about. I mean, like it included a tweet where Jason Connell was saying how he was hard to process for him, and thanking the mayor for doing this for him, and the Sucker Punch team deserved it. You know, it's good when developers are rewarded for their efforts, because you will constantly hear stories about how developers are sometimes underpaid, screwed over by their bosses. Gearbox.
Okay. Kind of left field, but okay.
Well, like basically, you just always hear when it comes to game developers themselves getting screwed in some way, and this is finally them getting the recognition they deserve and getting some goodwill. So
I don't think it's finally them. Like I think they get a lot of recognition and a lot of goodwill.
I guess they do. Yeah, it's good to see it happen.
They do get a lot of unnecessary bad will, but I feel like that comes from the public and the consumers more than publishers and so forth. But
that doesn't seem the case.
Anyways, we digress. But this is great. This is cool. I like that he's not. Listen, I'm not planning on having them do anything, and they can have the title as long as they want it. But like, I just wanted to,
recognize,
give a little tip of the hat and say, hey, thanks guys.
Kind of bring in money. So I mean, like, that's just good for the island of Tsushima as well.
I like that. Yeah, I like the them talking about this planned tourist route to kind of visit locations from the game and stuff. That's neat.
Yeah, interesting.
Very cool. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Connor, you ever think about going to Tsushima one day? Maybe take that route?
I mean, probably. I mean, I want to go to Japan in general, and I feel like if I had time, I'd be like, oh, okay. Tsushima, I've been there in a video game, might as well see it in real life.
Absolutely.
It looks like a beautiful island from the screenshots the one screenshot that's in this
There's a couple
article.
of screenshots in the article or there's a couple of pictures in the article.
Yes, I see it now.
Looks just like the game. So they must have done a really good job.
Yeah, they must have.
All right. Moving on. Final penny of the day. My second penny. Connor, let's talk about this Nintendo Switch new model rumors, all right? We're going to pull an article from Bloomberg by Takashi Mochizuki and Sohee Kim. Nintendo plans Switch model with bigger Samsung OLED display. Nintendo Co. plans to unveil a model of its Switch gaming console equipped with a bigger Samsung OLED display this year, hoping the larger touchscreen can prop up demand in time for the holidays, people familiar with the plan said. Samsung Display Co. will start producing mass production of 7-inch 720p resolution OLED panels as early as June, with an initial monthly target of just under 1 million units, said the people who asked not to be identified, discussing internal matters. The displays are slated for shipment to assemblers around July, the people said. Representatives for Nintendo and Samsung Display declined to comment. Nintendo seeks to sustain a Switch lineup that continues to sell well against the Xbox and PlayStation, thanks to pandemic-era breakout hits like Animal Crossing and a chip crunch that's plagued supply of rival devices. But the gadget is now into its 5th year, while the Microsoft Corp and Sony corporations both have new and more powerful machines in the market. The gaming community has speculated online about the introduction of an OLED or organic light-emitting diode screen, but Nintendo has stayed mum, and President Shintaro Furukawa said in February his company has no plans to announce a new Switch, quote, anytime soon. Samsung's involvement is the strongest indication that Nintendo is serious about updating the console on a large scale. And then from here we go into talks about, how it'll improve battery life and sales and so forth and stocks and some other stuff. But, Connor, bigger screen, better battery, maybe some better hardware.
Yeah.
All of that exciting? Yes?
It's good.
No?
I
Reason enough to drop another $300 to $400?
No.
You don't think so?
Unless I would have to see it. Because the thing is, I don't really play on the handheld version of the Switch as it is. Like, it's convenient to have it. But most of the time I'm playing it when there's a bigger screen. So, for people that actually play it on the go a lot more than I do, it's great. And if I ever found myself doing that more and more and more, I probably might drop the $300 extra on that. And
never did it on campus while you were on campus?
No, I never did. Well, I did, but it was never. It was never really a consistent thing. Like I usually
it was never. I'm busy. I'm going class to class. But if I had 15, 20 minutes in between classes and I had nothing to do and I was just sitting waiting around, bust the Switch out. Yeah, be like, all right, let me get through some Mario Kart races.
So, for example, stuff like that I didn't do, but on them making the LED screen bigger, it makes sense because they're going to have this for a while. They're obviously putting games on it, and they're going to keep putting games on it. They have no consoles planned anywhere in the near future, so might as well just beef it up as much as you can.
Well, we're about 5 years deep now into the Switch. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't really. It really doesn't.
But the Switch came out underpowered at launch. Came out in the middle of a console generation, so they're off cycle with everybody else. And since in the last few years, it's felt more like they're treating it more like a mobile device than a home console. Mm-hmm. Which I think was the intention all along.
News like this also shows that as well.
I would like to have console quality games on the go with a bit of a bigger screen. Now, the problem is that if you just if you take the Switch's form factor right now and increase the screen, that means the Joy-Cons don't work. Because the Joy-Cons would be too small for the screen.
And would it be able to fit your power box thing? I don't know what to call it. The part that you use to connect to a larger screen.
Oh, the dock?
The dock, yeah.
Dock, yeah. Oh, I assume so, because that's literally just like a single plug.
Yeah, I would think so. More. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I saw some like Photoshop workups online. Yeah, and here's like a picture of the Switch on screen. I don't know if you can see it from
this. I can see it.
If you just take the bezel out, which is like the black part that surrounds the part of the screen that lights up, if you just take that out, you get your 7 inches.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like Apple's kind of done that for a while now. Don't really need them. If you just, that's an easier way to just do it without having to change a bunch of other stuff.
Phones have been working about getting rid of bezels for a minute now. So, that's probably where they're going with it, because I don't see them making all of their Joy-Cons suddenly useless.
No. They would still probably have also their original Switch. Knowing Nintendo, they might even, if they do make one with a bigger screen, I could see them making it cost more.
What do they call it? Do they call it Switch Pro? Do they do the 3DS route and go new Switch?
I feel like they do like Switch Plus.
Switch Plus?
Yeah, I don't know. That rings to me that they would call it that. But
Switch Up?
Switch Up, huh? So we have the Switch Lite.
Oh, maybe that.
And then Switch.
Oh, we do have that.
We have the Switch Lite right now. So Switch. What's the opposite of like light?
Switch dark.
Heavy.
Switch heavy.
Yeah, Switch heavy. I don't know.
Switch heavy calories. Lots of calories. It's gonna make you fat, bro.
Yeah. Promotes a sedimentary lifestyle. That's what games do.
You know, that's what I should be doing instead of watching YouTube at night. I should be taking my Switch out that motherfucking dock and doing some Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it's also for.
Oh, no. I used to do that, and I don't do it anymore. And I've been wasting my time watching TikToks.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
I could be playing video games.
Switch. I should do the same thing, except, like, not be on Twitter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How long do you spend on Twitter?
Too much.
Really?
Don't too much.
I find myself, I'll scroll for 5 minutes, and I'll put it down, and I'll come back, like, 5 hours later.
Yeah, I need to tear myself away from my phone screen.
You struggling, buddy?
Yeah.
This is a conversation we should have off mic.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would easily drop $300, $400 on a new Switch, or just an upgraded version of the Switch.
It would depend how it would be, but
because then I can give, you know, my one I have right now, I can give that to my nephew. I can give it to my sister. You know.
Yeah, that's gift material right there.
Yeah, that's easy gift material right there. So, and then I have my big brand new one that I get to do whatever I want with.
Yeah,
you know?
The better one.
I keep toying with the idea that when I get my PlayStation 5, I'm gonna keep it here where my 4 is, and I'm gonna move the 4 over to the living room.
Yeah.
And just have easy access if I ever want to do that there. So, just thoughts. Especially with Mass Effect coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just bouncing back and forth. Mass Effect in every room.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, hopefully you'll have a PS5 by then.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for it.
I want one. You ever struggle to just get rid of $500? I am. Anyways, Connor, that is it for the new news to talk about this week. So, let's go ahead and move in to our next segment of the show. What have you been playing?
Well, let me get mine done with, because, well...
I'm sure it's going to be quite broken record, quite, oh, I'm sure it'll just be the most illuminating thing.
Oh, it will be.
You're about to drop on us ever.
I am about to drop something on you.
Yeah?
I have started playing an old favorite of mine.
Oh!
Yeah. Fallout New Vegas.
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
I had it for a while. I was trying to mod it.
Spencer too much.
Funny enough, he's not a big Fallout New Vegas fan.
Yeah, but yeah.
I was like, man, I love that game. I was hearing more like music from that era recently, just on the daily randomly. I was like, yeah, I should play that again. I tried to mod it. I failed at that, partly because there's a whole thing where you have to have like DLC for a lot of the mods to work for Fallout New Vegas.
Let's get the DLC.
I don't want to. There's a lot of DLC. You got like even the useless stuff, because there's a lot of gun packs. You have to get those as well. 'Cause of, like, gun textures and things like that.
What a weird era, right?
Right? Yeah, very weird.
Where they just nickel and dimed you for everything.
Yeah, and it's really weird.
That was the thing when they announced the list of the DLCs that are going to be involved in the Mass Effect trilogy, and it's like armor packs, and I was like, "Fuck, that's right, there were armor packs."
Yeah, get the Dragon Age one. We talked about it last time too.
Well, that came with the game.
Yeah, well, that was just an armor pack, and they just had.
But it was like just different costumes and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, that's right." Remember, I think it was Oblivion had horse armor. That was like $4 or $5. It was just a skin for your
Skyrim.
for your horse.
Was that
No, I'm
Skyrim?
pretty sure that was an Oblivion thing.
Yeah, well, I would never have bought that.
I don't know if Skyrim had smaller DLC packs. I think everything they did was just in their bigger launch things.
They probably would have and had mods pick up the slack for everything else. But
maybe. Yeah.
I tried to mod that, failed, and I was like, I'm just going to play the base game again. And it's just a fun game. I still think it's the best Fallout game.
Interesting.
It's
over 3.
over 3, yeah. And I'm just kind of enjoying going back in there, traveling the wasteland, solving moral conundrums like, should I kill this person or should I not kill this person? Very tough. And I'm having fun with that. It's been out for years.
Now,
so
Connor,
what you want to say
imagine
about
if
it.
you just, if you just love Obsidian games this much, imagine if you just played the last game they put out.
Well, I like New Vegas more.
Outer Worlds is sitting right there, bro. You can just go jump in.
It is sitting right there, and it will continue to sit there until I decide that it doesn't want to sit there anymore.
Avowed's coming up. You excited for Avowed?
I'm very excited for that.
See Obsidian's take on what looks like an Elder Scrolls ripoff?
Yes, I am.
Very exciting.
They'll shortchange Bethesda once again.
Shortchange Bethesda. But I think you meant to say show up Bethesda, but whatever.
Probably. But I funny enough, I said this a while ago that I had started Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. I never played it again after that first time.
Classic.
And I realized the reason why I didn't is because the mouse and keyboard just does not work.
No, it's a controller game.
And I was able to finally get the controller to work. So I started that again. I restarted where I was and got to where I left off. So I played a little bit of that. I'll talk about that more when I play the game. The final other game that I played is a little bit of a...
I'm about to judge you so hard, aren't I?
You have no idea.
I'm about to.
And you probably saw me doing it. I'm assuming you've been busy this week, so
I don't pay attention
in the group chat. Okay, so
I've been busy.
I played a little bit. I play more of Fortnite, and
you've been playing Fortnite
a little bit.
Why have you been playing Fortnite? Oh, right, I did see this popping off the group. I thought it was a joke.
No, because my friend Jordan was like, "I like Fortnite." You know, he likes it because he likes Chun-Li, the skin in there, and I was like, "Okay, I'll hop back on it."
Why don't you
with him.
just join me in Apex? Apex is so much better.
I have that. And I will continue to play Apex with you when you're on the games.
You haven't played Apex once with me.
I mean, you haven't been on the games in a while either.
You could hit me up. Here's the thing. You never hit us up. Never.
No, because you have hit me up. That is how it works. This is how our relationship has always worked and will continue to work.
Yeah, we don't like that, Connor. We would like a little more back and forth. It's a relationship. You have to put effort in.
Well, maybe I'll do that then.
You won't.
Challenge. But Fortnite has a shit ton of stuff. In the one game I joined...
they've done a lot.
Yeah, but in the one game I joined, I got attacked by sharks.
Yeah.
And then I got attacked by the Predator.
Yes.
You knew that?
Yes.
I didn't know that. And I was like, okay, I knew they had done a lot of things with it.
Wait, like that, like a superpowered player as the Predator?
No,
it was just somebody in the Predator skin?
No, the Predator. He turned invisible, and then he appeared and started slicing me. I was like, what the fuck? And I had to fight him off. Apparently, if you kill him, you get his skin.
I wonder if this is still off that Bounty Hunters thing? They're still
he's been there for a while.
They're still doing that Bounty Hunters thing.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they brought him back for the Bounty Hunter thing.
They might have.
Yeah.
Because you can get his skin by killing him, which I wasn't able to do. I was kicking ass in that game, by the way. I'm pretty good at it. And I'll continue to play it because it's actually just fun. You know, memes aside, all the stupid fan bases aside, and their marketing, which I hate.
What's wrong with their marketing?
It's just like...
It's fun.
Cringy. Though.
It's cute.
It's cringy, though, to me.
Troy Baker, you know?
Troy Baker?
Yeah, he's the voice of Fortnite.
I just like when they put pre-existing characters in the game because
there's a lot of that, dude.
He did the dances.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm playing that a little bit. I'll hop on Apex with you later.
Fortnite as a platform is impressive.
It is. And honestly, it's impressive to see how it's come. Especially from when I last played it, which is when it was pretty vanilla. You know, they had golf carts, which was the last amazing thing they did when I played it.
That was a long time ago. It was
a very long time
ago. Year and a half ago, 2 years ago now?
They also, like, speaking off of that experience, they really made making your, like, walls and floors and stairs a lot easier. Like, it's more easily mapped. You press a button on keyboard.
Well, there was an alternate control scheme on console that you had to like go into your menus and switch, and I remember it being a pain, like the default layout a pain.
Yeah.
But maybe they should change it.
Yeah, this is definitely best for PC from my experience.
Cool.
Yep. But yeah, I'll maybe play something new.
I don't believe you.
You shouldn't.
So I have not really had time to play anything. I toyed around a little bit with Ghost of Tsushima, but for the most part, I just haven't had time to really play anything. I did try. Now, let's say this right now. I downloaded, I installed, and then it crashed my computer 3 times.
Oh.
Or it froze my computer 3 times. I'll say. I didn't even get it, like, running. I don't know what's happening. I gotta troubleshoot. PC gaming? Fucking stupid. Anyways. I've installed Star Wars The Old Republic, the BioWare MMO, because I forget what launched me on that thing. Oh, it was like one of those things after I played KOTOR last year that I was like, oh man, maybe I should try. And KOTOR 2 has been on my fucking PC forever, and I just haven't loaded it up because I want to do my KOTOR 1 Dark Side playthrough, yada yada. Anyways, and I've always been like, man, should I try The Old Republic? And I've been looking on forums, and some people are like, yeah, and then other people are like, eh. And then
is it dead?
I don't think it was ever that popular.
Okay.
I don't think it's that it's dead. I think it's just lower on the totem pole.
Okay.
It was never World of Warcraft level MMO thing. So I installed it, tried to play it, didn't work, and then I was tired and I went to sleep. But if you follow us at twitch.tv/2pennygames, you know that for our Hype series, Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Central Time, Phil has started his Metal Gear Solid 2 playthrough, and he's liking it. He's enjoying himself.
More than the first?
Oh yeah, by far.
It is a more polished game.
Well, yeah, there's a console generation in between those two games. So
yes, there was PlayStation 2 from the PlayStation 1 with Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's enjoying it pretty well so far. We're starting to get into some of those crazier twists and turns that happen later in the game.
It's not a long game, is it?
Oh no, not really. 13 hours maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish it this week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. come check it out, please. We would love for you to come see us. Hit that follow button. Help us get, some poppin' views and some poppin' clips and all that. Anyways, and I'm excited to see how he'll react to the last half of that game, because shit is gonna go crazy. Other than that, I've really got nothing new to say about what I've been playing. Yeah. I've been busy with work. So much fucking work.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are gonna call it there. This has been your Two Penny Gamescast, episode 33. I keep forgetting to say what episode number at the top of the show, but Connor, I think this was my best intro yet. I think. It was really good. I got all my.
You hit all the points.
I hit all the points. I said what platforms we were on. I mentioned hype at the beginning of the show. It was good.
Well, next time if you say the episode number we're on, then that's perfect.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
I even mentioned Connor after the hype, which you can catch at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, where I give my full review of Kingdom Hearts 1. And I have some thoughts on that game. Yeah. But until next week, Connor, catch us Mondays 8 a.m. Tuesdays 1 p.m. Twitch.tv/2pennygames. Twitch.tv/2pennygames. YouTube.com/2pennygamescast. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great week. And Connor,
see you guys. I said it for you.
I hate it when you do that. I hate it when you do that.
I said see ya. I said bye, guys.
All right, fine. Have a good week. You're such a bitch.